He said, I have people ended up leaving Saudi Arabia because in this age, silence is not enough. You have to publicly celebrate the crown prince or the like. If you live in an environment like that, in which it's easy we're in California and we're talking about Gaza, talking about the US, talking about, Europe, talking about shift in public opinion. Freely, the idea that somebody could barge into that door, grab us both and make us disappear is something that we think is ludicrous. We are privileged in our rights that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has afforded us in allowing us to speak out. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying let's put yourself in that situation.
What's sadly incredibly ironic is what you just heard Sami Hamdi, a journalist, say in the latest podcast appearance was something that he himself experienced firsthand because he was detained by ICE on Sunday at the San Francisco International Airport. Now, why? Why would ICE detain him? Was he doing something illegal? Was he doing something that's against our Constitution, maybe? No, it turns out that he is a critic and a very outspoken critic of a foreign country. And of course, that's the nation state of Israel. And as a result, this British journalist and media commentator who's been outspoken about Israel was detained. Now, he's also been featured on Sky News, and he's the managing director of International Interest, which provides analysis on geopolitical environments and risks. Now, Hamdi had been on a speaking tour in the United States, according to the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, a Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. He attended the organization's annual gala on Friday night in Sacramento and was scheduled to speak at a gala in Florida on Sunday night. But of course, that didn't end up happening because he ended up getting detained. Department of Homeland Security spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin announced his detention on Sunday, adding that his visa had also been revoked. So here's what she wrote. Thanks to the work of Secretary Noem and Secretary Marco Rubio and the men and women of law enforcement, this individual's visa was revoked and he is in ICE custody pending removal for committing the grave sin of criticizing Israel, the country that apparently controls our government. Let me give you the rest of her statement. Under President Trump, those who support terrorism? Oh, just to be clear, Hamdi does not support Israel. So let's just be clear about that. Those who support terrorism and undermine American national security will not be allowed to work or visit this country. It's common sense. Now, if you want to talk about the security and safety of Americans, we can have a conversation about the American citizens that have been slaughtered by IDF soldiers and Israeli settlers in the West Bank. But of course, the lives of those Americans don't matter at all. In fact, this isn't really about protecting the national security of Americans. This is really about punishing a British journalist who is accurately and critically, who is accurate about Israel and covers what Israel is currently carrying out in a critical fashion. And to be clear, he does not support terrorism, nor has he actually committed a crime. Hamdi's father says it best on X, writing in a post, Sami did not commit any crime and did not lie in a single word when he condemned the Israeli crimes in Gaza, the crimes of genocide, and when he condemned the US government's support for this unjust and barbaric Israeli behavior. And I agree with that. Now, in his latest appearance on the Thinking Muslim podcast, he directly went after Zionists in government and how they're losing power. Take a look.
Donald Trump is not necessarily beholden to the rules that the Zionists imposed on presidents of the past. That doesn't mean he's an ally of the Palestinians or he cares. It means that before, the Palestinians who had very limited influence over the White House, because the Zionists had a huge influence over the White House, now suddenly the Zionists don't have that influence that they once had before. Every citizen of any country who loves his country, who loves her country, who wants to see the benefit of their country, anybody who loves their country will vote for the one who puts their country first and not a foreign country first. Homelessness in LA, where we didn't go to Beverly Hills. I should have shown you Beverly Hills itself. You'll see all these tents that that are in these parking areas, and they're not hippies, they're homeless people, you could have the money to resolve it, but you're giving it to Zionists and the like who are insisting on Israel first. The midterm elections are not Democrats versus Republicans. The midterm elections will be Israel first versus America first, and it's in the interest of Muslim Americans that America first wins over Israel first. Genocide is impossible without American money being spent, without American weapons, without American support, without American diplomatic cover. It's impossible. If the Americans say the Israelis can't do it, they can't do it.
And I don't think anyone will be surprised to find that the likes of Laura Loomer and other Israel first people here in the United States are the ones who essentially decided to sic DHS on Hamdi. And so DHS did what DHS does best. They detained a critic of Israel. And so now his visa has been revoked and he will eventually be sent back, to the UK. But this is absolute madness, Cenk.
Yeah, he's obviously a political prisoner. So Israel has now taken a political prisoner inside America. So first of all, we have First Amendment right, everybody here, not just citizens. The Supreme Court has ruled that for over 200 years to freedom of speech. Now we have to put an asterisk on the First Amendment and say you are allowed to say anything you want about America, our government, our politicians, or any other government, asterisk, unless it's Israel, in which case you'll be arrested and you'll be put in a ICE detention center or some other detention center. And only when our rulers, our occupiers, Israel, allow us, will we release you. But other than that, from now on, we take political prisoners for a different country here in America, and we violate our own constitution for a different country. Those are inarguable facts. So, well, they say what? Well, they said the magic word terrorism. Well, that ought to solve it. No, what I realize now is that pro-Israel forces inside America have been trying to get Americans to hate Muslims, and they have spread bigotry against Muslims and called almost all Muslims who object to Israel terrorists my whole life. They're actually the worst bigots in the country, and they have driven great fear and hatred towards the Muslim community. And now they're saying, not good enough. We smeared them, we got everybody to hate them. We did the most vicious, bigoted campaign in the history of this, well, you can't say in the history of this country, to be fair. Unfortunately, we've had a couple, right? But certainly the worst of my lifetime against Muslims. But now we're gonna take away their freedom, and we're gonna take away the Constitution, and we're gonna take away American sovereignty. And you just saw those clips. Actually, Sami Hamdi didn't say anything against America. He was actually fighting for America first. He was fighting for American sovereignty. He didn't do a single thing against America, but he had the temerity to challenge almighty Israel. So does Israel control our government? Inarguably. You could say, hey, that hurts my feelings that they do in one direction or another. I don't want you to telling everyone, even though it is the most obvious fact. No one has ever been arrested here in America for criticizing Norway or Russia or China or Paraguay. The only country that anyone has ever been arrested for criticizing is Israel. So that is a 100% fact. They can call you an anti-Semite, they can say trope, they can say anything they want. It doesn't matter, it's not going to change that fact. So America, you gotta decide, are you okay with Israel taking political prisoners inside this country? And do you think that once you've trashed the First Amendment and the Constitution on behalf of Israel, that they're gonna stop at people with visas? No, they're gonna come for you next. In fact, they're already coming for you in different ways. We shared a story about a friend of mine who runs a company. Now, Israeli bots and trolls are demanding that he fire American workers who have not just criticized Israel, they haven't even criticized Israel, that have shown sympathy towards the Palestinians. They're saying this is an anti-Semite, you have to destroy this American's life, you have to take away their livelihood, make sure that they are destroyed on behalf of Israel. And so they're coming for everyone here who dares to not bow their head to Israel. So no, release the political prisoners. By the way, Mohammed Ibrahim is a 16-year-old American child, is in an Israeli gulag now with trumped up nonsense charges. Our government won't even fight We have a hashtag Free Our Child that we're trying to get to Marco Rubio through the Revolution program we're doing? No, Marco Rubio doesn't care. He's already been bribed to the tune of $5 million from Larry Ellison and $1 million from the Israeli lobby. Those are just the facts we know, let alone the dark money and the other super PACs. So Marco Rubio doesn't work for us. Our government doesn't work for us. They prove it over and over again. They're arresting people on behalf of a different government. That is totally unacceptable, and it's not even close. So at this point, I love this country and I love our Constitution, and I'm just trying to protect us. And by us, I mean all Americans. I don't want to be ruled by Israel. I don't. And if you want to call me an anti-Semite because I don't want to be ruled by Israel, have at it, Hoss. And you're gonna do it anyway. You've already done it thousands of times. You'll do it thousands of times. And now they're doing it to all Americans. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Dave Smith, me, Anna, everyone, and left, right, center, libertarian, it doesn't matter. You all have to, and by the way, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, atheist, it doesn't matter. You all have to bow your heads to Almighty Israel. And if you don't, your life is going to be ruined, pulverized by pro-Israeli forces inside our government. We have to actually elect someone who grabs these guys metaphorically, not literally, metaphorically by the ear and walks them out of the goddamn building and go, no. From now on, there's only one country you're loyal to if you're working inside the American government, and that's to America. You try to be loyal to another country and you're gonna have massive consequences. We should start arresting people for being spies and for being assets and agents, because these people are clearly not working for us. A foreign government is occupying us, and now they're taking political prisoners inside the country. Totally unacceptable. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.